Parents and students, I wanted to send a video real quick to give you some updates and tell you what the school year is going to look like. I know I sent one a couple weeks ago, but I think it's good that we touch base prior to coming back to school. First, I would like to talk about the different classes that we'll be offering. And I also want to emphasize that whether you're virtual or in person, we are one family here at the high school. Everybody's part of Sycamore High School, and we will continue to be that way. Parents, I want you to know that the district did hire a virtual administrator. That person is only for K through 6. 9 through 12, any issues or concerns or even compliments, you can send them to us here at the high school. The administrative staff will take care of it. We did a lot of work in terms of the classes that we're offering. If you're in person, all our courses are running. Virtually, we're doing some that are self-contained, which is really great. So if you're in a course, you'll have your own teacher, set time to meet, all those different pieces. We also have some courses that will be live streaming out of our classrooms. Those high-level classes or those singletons that we just could not have another teacher paired up with a group of students, so we'll be live streaming. We have a very few classes that we're actually going to stream teachers into the classroom and then have an academic coach sit with the students during that bell. We're really pleased about that. Also want to remind parents that we are doing a digital curriculum model here at the high school, which means students will be watching lesson delivery or a self-guided lesson on their own time. And then when they're with the teacher or the curriculum expert, that's when they're doing discussion or they're doing an assignment that the teacher can help them with. So while they're at home, whether virtually or in person, they should not need any guidance from a parent on how to do something. The bell schedules will be the same, both virtually and in person. So I hope everybody understands that. We did have to redo a couple things inside of the virtual classroom setting. For example, art classes. We did art seminar for a lot of our electives. You will have a specific teacher, self-contained classroom, and we'll personalize for whatever course that you may have chosen. We're also doing that in theater, we're doing it in business, and then we're also doing it in PE for some of our courses. I thought it was also important to come on today and talk about some of our safety procedures. And I want to walk you through some of those items. And when we get done with this preliminary part of the video, I'll actually walk you in to see what it looks like. First and foremost, everybody will be wearing a mask, and that will be adhered to. We have some pretty strict consequences for those students that are not wearing masks. Parents, we ask you to re-emphasize to students social distancing and mask wearing at all times. We give one warning, then there's some in-school suspension, out of school, and then students will be switched into a virtual setting. When students walk into the school in the mornings, their door will be propped open, and there will be an administrator standing at each door. Students will go to a temperature reader. That's where their temperature will be taken. Then there will be a table that will have some hand sanitizer, and will also have some masks just in case if the student forgot their mask. They will walk to the commons or the gym or to their first period class where they can wait until the teacher opens that door. We will have staff monitoring social distancing during that time. Then our school day starts. I'd like to also address a lot of questions that we've had regarding class sizes. I can tell you we're putting the finishing touches on the schedule, and I can tell you that the average class size of in-person classes is approximately 20. Now mind you, we are live streaming, so we may have 3 or 4 or 5 students live stream into a classroom. Our self-contained virtual classrooms average at about 28. It's hard to define exactly what it is, but what I looked at just before this video, we were standing at about 28. Also would like to talk a little bit about attendance. Our attendance will be taken the same way it always has been. We'll take attendance second bell. Teachers will then review the absent list, whether virtual or in person, and if a student is reported as present second bell and is missing any other bell, then that student will be reported to our discipline attendance area, where Mr. Waggle or someone in his office will follow up with the parents directly and or the student. We're asking parents to monitor that, especially in the virtual setting, to ensure that students are in class at the right time and make sure that everybody is engaged in the learning process. I know Mr. Corteal sent a video out about scheduled pickup. Hopefully you understand the process there and the social distancing and mask wearing that we're going to adhere to during that process. A couple things I want to point out. One, if you are in the virtual setting and don't feel comfortable to come in for scheduled pickup, it's okay. We will have online schedules available that next weekend. So the 27th is scheduled pickup. That weekend we'll have those available online. We ask you to go online and pay your fees and also do final forms so that we have everybody's paperwork in place when you get your schedules. For the in-person scheduled pickup, to help us expedite things, we ask that all families that come to scheduled pickup to go online and pay fees prior to coming, and also go online to do the final forms. One point that everybody needs to make sure that they go into final forms and fill out is our COVID-19 procedures every day. It is a new form, so if you went on to final forms earlier and filled everything out, know that there's still another form out there that needs your approval, and it's just what's going to happen in the morning, taking temperature, making sure everybody feels okay before students come to school. For those students that are in the virtual classroom, we're looking at and planning a reverse parade, very similar to what Montgomery put on over the summer. And what that will do is it will allow students and families to drive into the parking lot, and we will have textbooks, supplies that students may need at home, whether that be packets or even some art supplies, so that we'll be able to pass those out. But it also gives students an opportunity to meet their teacher, even though it's going to be in a virtual setting. When school starts, parent drop-off is a big concern. I want you to realize that normally we have 1,700 students in this building. We have reduced that to about 1,200 due to those that chose the virtual classroom, and we do still have students taking the bus to school. So we don't know what parent drop-off is going to look like. We're going to monitor it the first couple days. If there is a traffic jam, we will implement immediately course corrections, and then we would reroute some traffic patterns to ensure that parent drop-off is done smoothly. So I ask for your patience the first couple days. We will have some staff members monitoring that. We will convene right after the beginning of the day to see what it looked like, to see if we need to implement any changes. So if there are changes, look for that coming, and we'll make sure we communicate that with you prior to implementing any change. As school year starts, we always have open house. We will have a virtual open house this year. Dr. Warren has put a great presentation together where you're going to be able to go onto the presentation, click a button for a department, find the exact teacher, and all of our teachers are creating videos for each specific course that they teach. So it should be a very informative presentation that everybody should enjoy. Also, we have parent-teacher conferences coming up in the middle of October, I believe, and we are going to do a virtual parent-teacher conferences. We're working out the details on how to schedule that, but know that that is coming. Now I'd like to take you on a little trip. What does it look like when we walk in? We'll walk down the hallway. We began cutting off our hallways in half and also have some directional arrows. Please know that more graphics is coming, and they will be here prior to the first day. Then I want to bring you into a classroom. the same classroom that the other video showed, but now we know exactly the class average will be 20, and I have 20 desks in that classroom, so you can see what that will look like. So I'm going to start by walking in the upper bus ramp door to show you what that would look like. As you walk in, the door is going to be propped open. You will immediately walk to our temperature screener. Temperature screener will read your face.
Temperature normal.
We will have handheld temperatures as well, just in case that takes too long. We know that we need to be very expeditious in this process. So if it takes longer than a couple seconds, we'll manually read a student's temperature. Then we'll walk over. We have some hand sanitizer that every student will put some hand sanitizer in their hand, make sure they rub it until it dries. If a student forgets their mask, there'll be mask provided, and we'll ask them to put a mask on at that time. So now I'd like to walk down the hall, and as I'm walking, please take a notice of the lockers. We did quarantine those lockers off. We will not be using lockers. One, for sanitary purposes. Also, the students know that's a great gathering place in the mornings, at lunch, and different times of the day, so we wanted to make sure that everybody stays socially distanced. Now I'd like to take you into the academic wing to show you what the hallways look like. So students, when you enter the building, you'll notice red tape that will divide hallways, even in the carpeted areas. In the academic wing, we've already placed the tape. Notice that it's in the middle of the hallway, and then on each side there'll be directional arrows. Right now we have some yellow arrows. We're getting some larger green arrows that we place as well. So let's take a walk to the classroom. As you notice, the hallways are divided, and when you're walking, you will always walk on the right side of the hallway. The arrows will indicate that. We'll also have administrators in the hallway, making sure everybody's staying socially distant and making sure they're wearing masks, and you're walking on the right side of the hallway. Also, I want to indicate that all of the water fountains will be shut off. The bottle refilling stations will work. So if you do have a bottle of water, you can refill it there. We ask you to bring your own water in. We do have water vending machines if you'd like that as well. So each hallway, each stairwell will have these markings. We do have some of our smaller hallways in the English wing and in the math wing where we will actually have a one-way hallway. So now let's enter this classroom to show you what it looks like with 20 desks in it. So as you can see, and I'm more than 10 feet away from Mr. Cortillo, so I'll take my mask off to end this video. As you can see, we have a lot of spacing in this classroom. Students will still be wearing their mask. Teacher will have a mask. The teacher will also have an opportunity to wear a shield if they would like to. Some of the classrooms will have a camera that will be live streaming out of, but there's been a lot of planning put in place. We have a lot of moving parts. We ask for your patience. We're working every day, multiple hours, trying to get this schedule done. We will have conflicts with the number of virtual sections that we're trying to create. We probably added another 60 singletons, which might not mean a lot to you, but what it means is it's only offered once a day. So it causes a lot of friction inside of the schedule. But our counselors will be working hard to remedy those conflicts. And we'll have that ready for August 27th on schedule pickup or online after that if you feel uncomfortable for coming in. I really, truly appreciate your patience. One thing I want to emphasize again is we're all one family. You're a part of this high school, and we will concentrate on that. No matter what communication we push out, it will be both to virtual parents, virtual students, in-person families, in-person students. One thing I forgot to mention about schedule pickup, we will have a medicine drop-off area. So if you do have medicine to drop off to the clinic, please bring it in during schedule pickup. Our nursing staff will be here for that. I thank you for your support. Look for some more communication coming your way. We will have some digitized forms and things like that coming your way prior to schedule pickup. But thanks, and go A's.